Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to tonight's Magic Submitter live Q&A webinar on Wednesday the 25th of March 2015. I've hit the recording. Hopefully we're not going to have any glitches this evening and hopefully we'll get this recording out. Sorry for the last one not going out. If you'll remember, during the webinar my GoToMeeting crashed. The file was corrupted. I did upload it but there was no sound. So I took it back down. There's no point having a webinar with no sound. Let me just quickly do a sound check. Can you just let me know whether you can all hear me okay? Let me know whether my audio is coming through. It's okay. Yes, yes. Okay, fantastic. Thanks very much for that. And just do an audio check, a visual check as well. Let me just quickly get rid of my Skype so that doesn't keep popping up. Can you all see my screen? Fantastic. As you can probably see from the screen, there's nothing on this desktop. It's a brand new laptop, which is a blessing in some senses, but not so much of a blessing in others. Every time I go to use a program, I have to remember to install it first. But hopefully this evening is going to go without a glitch. So thank you all so much for coming again this evening. I really appreciate every single one of you that turn up to these. Don't forget, this is a Q&A webinar. So make sure that you get your questions posted in the chat box and I'll try and get through as many of those as possible for you. I'm going to start off with Nisha. Nisha's asked us a question. How many campaigns should we do for local areas versus national area in USA for the campaign to come on first page? Okay, I get asked this question a lot in terms of how many campaigns should you do. Really, there's no way for me to be able to just put a figure on it. I can't say to you, hey, do 4 campaigns and you're going to get ranked. There's so many factors involved in ranking. What I'm going to do right now really quickly is open up a notepad file and just let me know if you can all see that notepad file on my screen. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great stuff. Remember that backlinks is only 1/3 of the entire SEO story. Okay, but backlinks alone are never going to rank any website in Google. Think about it. This is something I tell my coaching students as well, that Facebook has got 1 billion backlinks. Facebook has got tens of millions of social signals. They don't rank #1 when you type in things like plumber Atlanta. And the reason that they don't rank #1, and I'm talking about the homepage, facebook.com here, is because they're not relevant for that term. Their on-page SEO is geared towards social media. So it would make sense that they would rank for social media because they got so many backlinks, so many social signals. However, they don't rank for, there's many, many, many more terms that they don't rank for than they do rank for. So remember, backlinks is just 1/3 of the story. They would also have to rank, make sure that their on-page SEO was good. And I don't doubt for a second if they was to put their on-page SEO as something like Plumber Atlanta, they wouldn't take the #1 spot. But that just shows you how important on-page SEO is in the overall rankings. And then 1/3 of it is your trust. And trust can be broken down into things like social media. Maybe if you're doing local SEO, citations. Are people talking about you in the community in terms of reviews, etc.? So when we break this down, it's impossible for me to say to you, hey, if you do 1 Magic Submitter campaign, you're going to get ranked, or if you do 10, you're going to get ranked, because it's only 1/3 of the entire story. With that said, though, what I want to do is show you a couple of things that you could do in terms of national clients. I'm just going to open up my Google Chrome. And this is a brand new laptop. I'm not sure what the processor's like on it. So as I'm opening stuff, just let me know if you can still hear me okay or whether it's starting to get choppy. Just post and let me know. Okay, great stuff. So what we can do is we can use tools online, a tool like Majestic SEO or a tool like Ahrefs, And what we can do is we can put our competitors' website in here. For this one, I'm just going to say google.com. And we can check to see how many backlinks this website's got. And we can see here, I said 1 billion for Facebook. We can see that Google, 15 billion backlinks, quite a large number. But we can also see things like their backlink history. How are they building their links? At what rate? Here I can see that they had quite a large jump in backlinks, then they lost a lot. Then they gained a few here and they lost some, they gained some, they lost some. But look at the numbers on the side here. We're talking hundreds of millions at a time. So if you were going to try and compete against Google, where they can build 100 million backlinks in a day or in a couple of weeks, it's going to be a lot of Magic Submitter campaigns, like a ridiculous amount. Basically, not possible with Magic Submitter. Okay? But if I was to go and check one of my competitors and I noticed that over the last 4 months they had increased their backlinks by a couple of thousand links, then I know that I could build a couple of thousand links with Magic Submitter as long as I did it safely, anchor text ratios right, etc. Then I'm going to be building links as quickly as my competitors. Okay, does that make sense, Nisha? Hopefully that answers that question for you. So the honest answer is, unless I knew who your competitor was, and unless I knew that your on-page SEO was really good and your social media was really good, it's impossible for me to give you an exact number of campaigns. Okay, great stuff. Fantastic. Let me just quickly go back and check to see if there's any others. Guys and girls, make sure that you all are asking your questions in here. Tyrone's asked a good question. Does Magic Submitter still work for websites? This is a question I get asked a lot. If you're absolutely brand new to SEO and you haven't got a clue what you're doing and you don't know anything about SEO, then it's probably advisable that you just learn a bit of SEO and understand how backlinking works before you start blasting stuff at your website. However, you can still use Magic Submitter, and you could use it in one of two ways. Let me just go back to this right now. One of the ways that you could use Magic Submitter that you would be considered to be quite safe would be for you to create what we like to call tier 1 sites. And you could do this manually if you wanted to. And a tier 1 site is basically a website or a social media. It could be anything, a local directory listing or a blog, or you might create a really good quality niche specific forum post. And what you would do is you would link that to your website, and that's something that you could do manually if you wanted to. And this would just be to add a layer of protection if you weren't 100% sure. What you could do is fire Magic Submitter campaigns at that great listing that you created, which then points to your website. So then this, whatever it may be, and I'm just going to use the example of a Facebook page. I could have a really great Facebook page that I've keyword optimized. I've sent some Magic Submitter links to it. The Facebook page then links to my website. So what I'm ultimately trying to do is rank the Facebook page, and then if the Facebook page ranks, people will find it, they'll visit the Facebook page, click the link and visit my website. Now that adds a layer of protection, because if I was to build 1,000 links with Magic Submitter, for example, and I did something wrong and those 1,000 links went straight to my website, well, I've got a problem now that if I've done something drastically wrong, I have to go and try and remove 1,000 links from online. However, if I was to use this model and I did something drastically wrong, those 1,000 links are pointing at Facebook. All I would need to do, though, is there's one Facebook link pointing to my website. So all I would need to do is just remove that link, and then all of a sudden, my website would be left relatively untouched. Okay? So if you really don't know what you're doing with the software, take my advice like I did when I first started out. I used to use that tier 1 method. I would go and create something like a new blog on WordPress.com, or I would go to livejournal.com, and I would put a nice article on there, SEO it, and then send the Magic Submitter links to that. Until I really understood how Magic Submitter worked and I knew a little bit more about the different types of services and whether I would feel comfortable with sending them to my website or not. However, you can use Magic Submitter to your website, because here's the reason. When I say to you, you could go and sign up to WordPress.com, or you could sign up to LiveJournal.com, or you could go and sign up to Blogger.com. All of these types of links appear in Magic Submitter, and those links are all under the service type that's called blogs. Blogs. So if you're a little bit more experienced with Magic Submitter and you're wondering, can I use this directly to my website? Yes, you can, but you just have to be very, very selective over the types of links you send. For example, you wouldn't go into Magic Submitter and build 1,000 very low quality profile links to your website from non-related forums. If you're brand new to this and you're going, James, I don't know what you're talking about, what's 1,000 non-related low quality forums, then I highly recommend you don't build anything to your website until you got a better understanding. But for those of you that understand that concept of why it would be silly to do that, understand you can still use Magic Submitter to your website. Just make sure you're choosing those top quality services. And inside Magic Submitter, there's a couple of them to think about. First of all, you've got one called Web 2.0 Profiles. And Web 2.0 Profiles range from PageRank 3 all the way up to, I think, PageRank 8. And there's a couple of hundred of those. You've got the service type, which is blogs. There's about 80 of those, I think. And again, they go from like PageRank 2 up to PageRank 8, PageRank 9. And then you've got bookmarks. And there's about 30 of those. And they range from PR3 up to PR7 or PR8. So right here, if we was to look at this, we could get maybe 100 Web 2.0 profiles to our money site. We could get 60 to 80 blogs to our money site, and about 20 to 30 good quality bookmarks, all of which would be a PR3 plus. Now, again, for those of you that understand what I'm talking about here, you might think, well, PR's dead. PageRank is not a ranking. PageRank is not a metric that's being actively used anymore or updated. However, if the site's got a PageRank of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we know, or we can at least gamble with the fact that it's a good quality site, as opposed to something that's showing a PageRank NA or a PageRank 0. You just want to stay away from those inside the software. Let me just ask a question really quickly. I just want to gauge where everybody's at with that. Does that make sense to most of you? Yes. Samir says yes. Okay, great stuff. Anybody else? I hope I haven't lost anybody. Okay, brilliant. Great, great. I'm getting lots of yeses. Okay, perfect. So, does Magic Submitter still work for websites? Yes, there's a lot of talk out there at the moment. People are throwing out different terminologies, you know, go after high domain authority sites, only use good quality links. Remember, they're included in Magic Submitter. And here's something that I want to explain to all of you really quickly. This is something I was having a discussion with somebody about a short while ago, and that is that SEO seems to have almost gone full circle. And again, this is going to be something more for those people that have been in SEO a little while. But here's the truth of the matter. Google is 14, maybe 15 years old. So in the sense of people trying to manipulate Google to get ranked, we know that the industry's going to be 14 years old, because as soon as something new comes out, people are trying to manipulate it. And I remember even before those days when people were trying to manipulate some of the old search engines like Alta Vista. So it's been around for a long, long time. Tools like Magic Submitter have been around for 6, maybe 7 years. So that means there was a huge gap between when tools like Google appeared, when Google came on the scene and Magic Submitter appeared. And the reason that tools like Magic Submitter came on the scene is because in the past, before the days of these tools, we used to have to go to Google and search for things like top 50 blogs, top 50 bookmarking sites, top 50 article sites. And we used to have to write everything manually and post it to all of those. And then somebody one day had the thought of, well, I think we all thought this is absolutely ridiculous. Why can't this be automated? And then somebody People like Alex Krulik came along and they automated it for us and made it really, really simple. But here's the deal. When these tools came along, they didn't only give us all of the stuff that we knew that worked. They opened us up to a whole world of new things. Pligs, wikis, forums, all StatusNet, all this other stuff right here that previously when we were doing SEO, we would never have dreamt of going and finding a list of 10,000 wiki sites and blasting our sites to oblivion. Because when we were doing it manually, it would have taken too long and we wouldn't have seen any real benefit. But when these tools came along, because it only became a couple of clicks of a button, everybody went absolutely bananas with it. Wow, look at me, I'm now building 10,000 links a month to my site. And for a short while it worked. And it was good when it worked. It was easy. But as with all things, a lot of good things come to an end. Google started saying, actually, these types of links are not all of that great. And a lot of people that had them pointing to their website got wiped out. Okay, so I'm just going to click delete on those right now. And that basically means that a lot of people now have gone back to the old way of doing things. Let's not use automation. Let's do things manually. Look, this is a new way of doing SEO. It's not a new way of doing SEO. We've gone full circle. We're reverting back to the old way of doing things. So the reason for me giving you that little backstory is because with me given the choice right now of looking at Magic Submitter and saying, okay, I'm not going to use any of that stuff I just deleted, but it's still going to allow me to automate the blogs, the bookmarks, the Web 2.0s, the good quality stuff. Even if now, instead of getting 10,000 links, I'm only getting 100 or a couple of hundred, that's still so much better than sat there all day manually going to a website, creating it, uploading the content, writing a unique version for another site. So it's just a case of we have to adapt. Remember, the strategy's changed, but the tool will still post to those sites like it's always done. We just have to be careful which ones we choose. Does that make sense, everybody? Fantastic. Liz says, great history lesson. Liz, it's good to see you on here, as it is everybody else. Okay, fantastic. Glad you're all getting this. Okay, great. So back to the questions. Nisha's asked another question, and don't forget, everybody, get your questions in. If I don't answer them, just make sure that you post them again, and I'll do my best to get them answers. Can you tell us, for tier 2 or tier 3, which nodes will go under which node so we can get best bang for buck? Okay, really, you can still use those lower quality links, your pligs, your wikis, your forums, your StatusNet, because what you're doing with these is you're just casting out your net far and wide. Try and get as many links out there, because hopefully Google will find some of those, follow that link, and then they'll give some juice to the tier above it. Now, just basically how SEO works, you've got a brand new website and you get 1,000 low quality links. Google might look at your website and say, you're gaming the system, your website is tanked, okay, with the indexing you, because you've got a load of links pointing to this. However, if you had a tier 1 in there, something like Facebook, because Facebook's been so established and it's got such good metrics, it almost acts like a sponge or a filter for those low quality links. So what will happen is you chuck 1,000 low quality links at that. Because this is such a good domain, it can take that battering of low quality links. The good juice will flow through, but Facebook, it is possible that you could de-index it if you did something really, really stupid. You could de-index that particular page. However, the chances are much, much, much lower than if you was to do that directly to your website. Is that making sense, everybody? And when I say de-index, you're not going to de-index Facebook, but you'll cause an algorithmic penalty to that particular page, and it might just disappear. But it's really, really difficult to do that with really good quality, high-end, high domain authority websites. So adding that tier 1 in there is a great way to protect it for numerous reasons. So your second tier, when I say low quality links, you still want to be a little bit selective, but Would I throw 1,000 a mixed status, forums, wikis, pligs, bookmarks, blogs, and Web 2.0s at Facebook or at Twitter or at Yelp? Definitely. Would I chuck them straight to my website? Definitely not. So your tier 2s on this basis, you can have as your pligs and your wikis, your forums and your status nets. Just make sure they're never on your tier 1 and pointing directly to your money site. Okay? Let's just see. Just bear with me 1 second. And for those people that turned up late, this is being recorded. Just bear with me 1 second. One of the great things about having somebody else on these with you is they can pop in and ask questions and answer questions as you're reading new ones. Sam, I'm not sure about what you're asking there. I'm not releasing any at the moment, but I'm not sure. Maybe I might start doing that in a couple of months, but definitely not doing it at the moment. Let me just quickly check. Are blog post and article links more effective than profiles and Web 2.0 links? A good quality blog post or a very good quality article that gets put onto an article directory and it's a well-respected niche relevant one is a very good quality link. You have to be careful though, because there are a lot of low quality non-niche related article directories that probably wouldn't offer you as much benefit. The whole trick here is to have a little bit of a number of different types of links and not have all of your links coming from one particular source. So for example, you wouldn't want hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of links coming solely from article directories, but not having any bookmarks, not having any Web 2.0s, not having any social links. So it's a good idea to mix it up within those. And then make sure that you're also getting some citations, make sure that you're getting some shares on social media, make sure that you might even want to go in and steal some of your competitors' backlinks if you notice they're in niche relevant places. It's all about mixing it up and having a little bit of everything, but not a lot of anything in particular. But when I say a little bit of everything, I mean a little bit of everything that's not considered spam. Okay? Don't freak out though if you have chucked a Magic Submitter campaign at your website once upon a time and there's a few spam links in there. Even Google's got spam links pointing to it. The whole point is you just don't want them to be the majority. Okay? Let me just quickly... I'm a new user of Magic Submitter and SEO. How do I run a campaign for 15 days? I have to leave my computer on. Great question, Samir. You don't have to leave your computer on 24 hours a day if you're going to run one campaign. This is how Magic Submitter... Led, you just disconnected me from the handbag. You must have just walked past it and knocked it. Well, you've taken that. You just turned the internet off. Hey everybody, I think I'm back again. Can you just post in there for me? Yep, you got me again? Sorry about that. That was my wife just turned off the internet. She just turned off the plug for it. So that was interesting. I was just like, oh, I can't believe I've lost it again. What's happened now? I'm glad to be back. Okay, so I've just forgotten the question that I was answering then. Oh, it was about leaving your computer on for 15 days. Okay, here's how Magic Submitter works. Magic Submitter, when you create a new campaign, Magic Submitter schedules that campaign to run at 1 minute past midnight every day. So, if you had your computer switched on at 1 minute past midnight, Magic Submitter would do that day's tasks at 1 minute past midnight. And then what will happen is that day's task might take 20 minutes, half an hour. And if you look at the bottom of your Magic Submitter, right down in the bottom bar, you'll see a green status that usually says sleeping. For 90% of the time you look at it, it will say sleeping. Don't get worried. That just basically means that Magic Submit has already run the tasks for that day and gone back to sleep. If you think about this, if you're building a campaign with 300 links over 30 days, you're only building 10 links a day. That takes Magic Submitter about 5 minutes to do that. Okay? So, you don't, on that basis, when you're looking at the task button at the bottom, it's not going to be working all the time because it takes literally a minute or two at most to build 10 links. So, with that said, what you can do is, if you don't want to be leaving your computer on 24 hours a day, you could turn it off through the night. And I don't know, let's say you wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning. When you turn your computer on at 10 o'clock, Magic Submitter will look at this task. It'll realize it missed it. It was in the past. So it'll run it as you boot up Magic Submitter. So as long as you load Magic Submitter once per day and you actually look at the taskbar at the bottom, if it says it's actively doing something, it will say like running task, blogs 1. If it's doing that, don't turn your computer off. But once it goes back to sleeping again, you're free to turn your computer off and disconnect from the internet or do whatever you want. As you start doing more and more campaigns with Magic, you might be an SEO agency and you're running 60 campaigns, then that's kind of, you're going to need to start leaving Magic on 24 hours because you're going to it's always going to be running tasks throughout the day. But if you're somebody that's just starting out and you've only got 3 or 4 campaigns, switch your computer on in the morning, leave it a couple of hours, or just leave it running in the background all day and then shut it before you go to bed. Okay, hopefully that helps you with that one. Let me just come back to the questions box. If I've missed any of your questions, please make sure that you ask them again. Do you have to create new profiles for every new campaign on a money site? Okay, great question. Really, that's entirely up to you. It does just depend. Ultimately, the old way of doing things was you would create 5 profiles and then you would just use those profiles over and over and over again because you'd want to build up the authority of those blogs so that they had more than one post on them. What I would say to you now, though, is you could create one profile, run a Magic Submitter campaign through it, remember what URL you used when you submitted to all of those services, and then only don't use that one profile if you want to do another campaign to the same website. That you would then create profile number 2 to do another campaign to that same website. If you wanted to do a campaign to a different website, you could go back and use profile 1 again, because then you'd be adding more content to that blog. But what you don't want to happen is to end up having a lot of blogs created that have got 10 posts on them and every single post just goes back to your money site because you kept using the same profile for every campaign. Does that make sense? Just let me know if you're following that. Just bear with me 1 second. I'll just quickly check. Didn't understand that. Yes, good point. Not really. Okay. Okay, let me explain it like this then. Okay, so in Magic Submitter, you can create profiles. So we've got profile number 1. And if we had profile number 1 and we created a campaign number 1, what we could do is think about it like this. We're going to go and create a blog on WordPress.com. And that WordPress blog is going to link to Money Site 1, which is our website. Now, if we was to use this profile again to run another campaign to Money Site 1, what would happen is Magic Submitter would log back in and post another article to this same WordPress blog. So now that WordPress blog would have 2 posts on it, both of which pointed back to Money Site 1. And then if we use that profile again, it would have another post on it pointing to Money 1. Ultimately, we could then leave a footprint because we'd end up with lots and lots and lots of articles on that blog, that WordPress blog, always linking back to the same money site, it would become apparent to Google quite quickly that we were just building links back to our own website. These blogs were created just to build links. So what you could do on that basis is profile 1 would be campaign 1 WordPress. You wouldn't use that profile 1 again unless it was to a different money site. So the next blog could go to your second money site that's in the same niche. Okay, is that clearer now? Is that making sense? Yes, yes. Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. Let me just quickly head back and see if I missed any. So for WordPress, for websites PR above 0 would be safe on websites even if you were using Wikis, Pligs, StatusNet. That's a good question, Tyrone. Again, it really depends. It really depends on the niche that you're in. If you go to Google or you go to Majestic or you go to Ahrefs and you see that your competitors have got 30 backlinks, would it be wise for you to go and build 1,000 of them regardless of the page rank? The answer is probably not. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb in that niche because you've got 30 times as many backlinks as your nearest competitor. What's caused that to happen that you've just got so many links so quickly? So on that basis, if you only needed 30 links to outrank your competitor, you would be much better hand-picking the very, very best quality links to make sure you get the biggest bang for the buck. Okay? If you've got to try and compete against somebody who's got 10,000 backlinks, then yes, you could use Wikis, Pligs, and Web 2.0s, and maybe tell Magic Submitter to only submit to ones that were page rank 2 or 3 and above to make sure you are getting that type of link, but a much higher quality. Because really, you would have no choice. It's going to be near on impossible to go and build 10,000 links manually or just in using blogs and bookmarks. Okay? So really, it's all going to come down to the strength of your competition in terms of what you're going to need to do there. Step 1, check out what your competitors are doing. Step 2, work out what your strategy is going to be based on what those guys are doing. Okay? Always do what they're doing, just a little bit better. Right, let me just quickly check here. Does a LinkedIn company or personal page act as the same type of filter? Good question that you asked that, Liz. I did this test a long time ago. This is a little bit black hat, actually, and at the time I thought that I might get the index. I'm not even sure if it's still ranking, but I spoke to a couple of people about trying this method, and they tried it and it worked for them. By all means, try it. Understand that it might be short-lived, but what I basically did was, have you ever noticed if you go to Google and you type in somebody's name, that LinkedIn comes up on the first page? And really, it doesn't matter what name it is, LinkedIn always seems to appear. So what I decided to try as a little test was, I thought, what happens if I take a 2-word keyword, something like Magic Submitter, and I put my first name as Magic and my last name as Submitter? What would happen? Because it's going to naturally benefit from that ranking power of LinkedIn. I've really not checked this in a long time. I never threw any links at it or did anything with it. So I genuinely haven't got a clue whether this still ranks. Last time I checked, I think it was on page 3. But Magic Submitter gets 3,600 searches a month. And that was, straight off the bat, just to index on page 3. I'm sure had I built some backlinks, etc. to it, it would have ranked higher. Like I said, I've not checked it in a long time. I'm not even sure if the profile still exists or not. But if you wanted to test something like that, since you asked the question, yes. However, I really don't know how long it would last, because a little bit more spammy in that respect. No, it doesn't even look like it's there anymore. But notice here are some stuff that's ranking. And remember, this gets 3,600 searches a month for the term Magic Submitter. But what you can do is you can have a look through some of these. Let's go on to page 1 and see some of the types of properties that rank. Okay, so Warrior Forum, okay? Warrior Forum's ranking on the first page of Google for the term magic submitter. Let's take a quick look to find out why it's ranking. Warrior Forum is a really huge website with a lot of authority, but let's go and check to see if any backlinks were ever actually built to this listing, or whether it's just ranking off its own strength. My gut feeling would be that if this person's trying to do something for Magic Submitter, okay, it's not got many links pointing to this, it's got 6. But my gut feeling is they're probably into SEO and they probably built some links, and they might even lost some over time. No, they never had too many, but there are links pointing to this particular page. They've got a link from SM Pulse, healthy wealthy lifestyles. But what's really interesting is utilizing these free traffic sources, like in this case the Warrior Forum, where you can put up some content on this site or any site like that has already got great domain authority, and use that. Here you go, look, here's Facebook. This is my Magic Submitter Facebook page, ranking on page 1 of Google, so Facebook ranks. There's a YouTube video. That Google Plus is only showing because I'm logged in. But look, all these YouTube videos on page 2. This is all free traffic sources. So you could go and register on any one of these sites, stick up some content, fire some Magic Submitter campaigns at it, and see if you can get it to rank. And that's how I started making money. And definitely, as I said right at the start of the call, if you're not 100% sure what you're doing, consider doing stuff like this. So this is all the way back on page 2 now, or page 3, I can't remember which, page 3. But I'm pretty certain with a handful of Magic Submitter campaigns pointed at this Fiverr listing, that would move up in the rankings as well. So really consider doing that. Daily Motion. The types of sites that I would look at doing this on would be like LinkedIn or Facebook, or I've seen Twitter's ranking, WordPress.com, Blogger.com. Just capitalize on the fact that they've got a really good domain authority before you start out, and the fact that you can go a little bit more crazy with the links. Okay, hopefully that answers that for you, Liz, and a few other people that was asking similar questions. Let me just quickly check to see if there's any others. Can Magic Submitter create a silo structure where you can interlink on the same site and outside links too? Short answer, no. Long answer, maybe, possibly, but that's something that'll have to be really, really thought out, and probably a little bit too advanced to talk about on here. But in short, no. It's not something that I'm doing, and I'm still getting plenty of rankings, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. When I will be setting up new campaign through Campaign Wizard, do I have an option to save it before I start running it so I can later come back and finish it and then start running it? Yes, but the only time that you can save a campaign in the Campaign Wizard is when you get past the stage on the very last page of the wizard. Just so that I can talk you through this, page 1 is your money site URL, filling in your keywords and your anchor text. Page 2 is choosing your profiles. Page 3 is choosing your campaign. Page 4 is where you insert all of the information, your article title and everything else. Once you get past that stage and you click next, choose just open Campaign Designer, and then Magic Submitter will populate the Campaign Designer with all of your notes filled in. At that point, you can just click the right X at the top, and then it will say, would you like to save campaign? And you can say yes. You can't exit the Campaign Wizard halfway through before that point. If you need to desperately get away and shut your computer and you're that stage through it, the best thing you could do is just copy and paste the fields into a notepad file, cancel the campaign, and come back and do it at a later time. Really, if you're copying and pasting stuff out of notepad files, it shouldn't take you any longer than 10 minutes to get a campaign done from start to finish anyway. We've got about 20 minutes left today, so if I've not answered your questions, please make sure that you get them asked again. Let me just quickly check. So for websites, PR1 and above, I've answered that one. For new project, got that one. Yep, I'm pretty much run out of questions for you guys. So what I'm going to do right now then, just while I'm waiting, in case any of you want to ask any more questions, is I'm going to do a shameless self-plug. For those people that are not 100% sure about SEO, or for those people that are sure about SEO but just want a little bit more coaching in regards to things like on-page SEO or in terms of backlinks, etc., I have a membership site which is called rankingrabbit.com. This membership site is $67 a month. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a quick sneak peek into the back office of it. So just bear with me 1 second while I do that. Basically, what this membership site is all about is it's taking you step by step from knowing nothing about SEO or assuming that you know very little about SEO and taking you to a place where you could get your first site ranked in Google and have a lead generation site that's making you money. So just bear with me 1 second. This will teach you absolutely everything from call tracking to on-page SEO to how to steal your competitors' backlinks, which was something I spoke about earlier, talking about how to get high PR blog comments, which do still work incredibly well, just in case you were wondering. There's a whole boatload of stuff in there, how to speed up your websites. I even give you a free lead generation template that you can use. But here's just a real quick overview of it. Let me just go inside. You can see we've got different tabs. We've got a getting started. I talk about social media, how to set up your Google+, how to rank YouTube videos, how to set up your Facebook page, how to get listed in Google Local, stealing competitors' backlinks. We did a podcasting webinar in there. There's a whole bunch of great stuff in here. This is the social media tab. That was a 2-hour-long hangout. That's an over-the-shoulder for Google Plus Personal. Another one for Google Plus Business. How to create a YouTube channel. A 2-hour YouTube specifically. How to create your Facebook pages. How to run ads and competitions on Facebook. And there's plenty of content being added to here all the time. I'm even over the next couple of weeks going to be adding content related to how to get local clients, etc. And some great foot in the door strategies for doing that. So really, there's some great stuff in there that you might want to consider checking out. If you're interested, go to rankingrabbit.com. It's $67 a month. Included in the membership, you get access to our secret Facebook group where you can ask as many questions as you like. And you also get a 15-minute free consultation call with me as well when you join, so I can make sure that you're heading in the right direction. So, yeah. Just consider having a look at it, see what you think. Hopefully some more questions have come in now. Let me just quickly check. Hassan, great service from Ranking Rabbit. I can recommend it to anyone. I appreciate that. I just wish that everybody could read your comment right there, Hassan, but thanks for that. Hey, John, do you provide any support when joining your site? Yes, I do provide support. What I'm going to do is just show you this really quickly, actually, just because a few people are asking questions about it. Do I provide support? We've got a Facebook group that's currently got 190 people signed up, but I've really not lost that personal touch. If people ask questions, I like to get in there and get them answered. And the great thing is, I'm also working very closely with some people that have just gone in there and absolutely crushed it. And I've brought a few other people in on the team that are also more than happy to help you out. But just bear with me 1 second. It is a post that went up 5 hours ago. Another result to share. The second website I started after joining this group in January, which targets local terms in the UK, has seen some bumps. Out of 147 cities and countries targeted, 124 are in the top 10. 62 of them are in the top 3, and 35 are in the number 1 position. The website has generated 19 inquiries today and went live on the 27th of January. This is not the only story like that inside there. There's plenty of them, because I just give you such a simple step-by-step system to follow. Step 1, let's get your website sorted. Let's have a look at your on page. Step 2, is it loading quick enough? If it's not, here's how you can speed it up. Here's how you can check if Google thinks it's loading quick enough. Step 3, here's how you do your on page. Step 4, here's where you buy your content from. Step 5, and that's how it goes on, exactly like that. One video flows into the next, And on top of that, the Facebook group, if you're stuck on anything and don't understand anything, you post it in there and me or somebody else will answer it for you. So yeah, that's it. But these types of posts are getting posted all the time. You can see it's a pretty active group. Yeah, you can see right here, there's people liking it, commenting on it, posting on it. Great stuff happening in there. So, okay, let me just head back to the Magic Submitter webinar side of things now, though. Sorry to go off topic for a second there. Just a few people was asking in regards to that. Using the Poor Man Blog Network template, I can get websites in the top 10, but they won't budge after that. Okay, going back to what I just said a few minutes ago regarding SEO, on-page SEO only being 1/3, backlinks only being 1/3 of the entire SEO story. If you've managed to get a website to a certain point and it's just not managed to get any higher, you really, really need to look at your on-page SEO. Okay, just a couple of other people that are inside Ranking Rabbit that would vouch for this, and if you ever connected with them in any group, there's a guy called Jason Boyd. He came to me and said, my website won't budge, it's stuck at the top of page 1. I went through with him and helped him with his on-page SEO. 2 weeks later, he ranked number 2 on the first page. I really, really, really can't stress enough the importance of making sure your on-page SEO is bang on. And remember, on-page SEO changes all the time. So the old way of doing on-page, where you thought, okay, I'm going to put my keyword here and I'm going to put it there and this is going to be my keyword density, it doesn't quite work like that anymore. What I would say to you to do is go and analyze what your competitors are doing, have a look at what they're doing in terms of their tags and their links and internal structures, and use that as your benchmark to work out whether yours is good or bad. Again, if you want a complete over-the-shoulder in how I do that, you could find it in Ranking Rabbit. But yeah, definitely consider having a look and making sure that that's not right. If a website ever gets to a certain point and it just won't budge, and all you keep doing is firing more and more and more links and it's not even moving, if it doesn't move up one position or down one position, it's just stuck, then it doesn't matter how many links you fire at it. You can just fire an infinite amount. It's not going to help. That's not the issue, which is apparent if it won't budge. Okay? You will keep building it up to a point, but then you're stuck. Go back, make sure that you're relevant enough to the term. Make sure that you're not incurring an algorithmic penalty, which is causing your relevancy score to go down because you're over-optimized. Just do that, make a few tweaks, and you should see it jump up quite significantly. I hope that helps you, Tyrone. Okay, so we've got about 10 minutes left. If anyone's got any final questions that I didn't get answered, please make sure that you post them now. If not, I would like to say I think it's a wrap for the evening. It's been a good one, apart from the slight hiccup with my wife turning off the internet. Nisha's asked, I just brought the MS article rewriter. It says you have to buy tokens. What does that mean? Nisha, you don't have to buy tokens to use Magic Article Rewriter. Click on the word inside Magic Article Rewriter and you'll see, I can't show you because I don't have it installed because I've only just got this laptop up and running. But there's watch the video. Go into magicsubmitter.com/training. And inside training, you will find a lot of links to different ways that you can use Magic Submitter. And here's the one that you want to look at. Basic spinning. look at this basic spinning video and then watch the advanced spinning video, and I actually go through the different buttons that are inside. I'll go through and do the have a look at that, and in that video I go through what all of the different buttons do inside Magic. You definitely don't need to buy tokens to start manually spinning your article. You can buy tokens if you want to use the one-click rewrite feature, but it's not essential that you own that. So watch that video, have a look through it, go through, spin it manually. The tokens cost an extra $37, but like I said, you don't have to buy it. Just doing it manually is perfectly fine as well. So, let me just quickly check to see. Can I submit links to Google page or Google local? Vadim, great question. Yeah, I've sent links to my Google Plus personal profile before to build up the authority of my Google Plus personal profile. I have links pointing out of my Google Plus personal profile, so building up the page authority by sending links to it, I believe to still be a good idea. So yes, you can definitely do that. Hello sir, can I export files that has many high PR sites from my computer to Magic Submitter to make backlinks on them? That has many high PR sites. Khaled, do me a favor on that one. Add me to Skype. My Skype is Magic Submitter Tutorials with no spaces. Add me on Skype. Send me over that file that you're talking about that's got the high PR links on it, and I'll take a look at that for you and let you know whether they can be added to Magic or whether they're already in Magic or what to do with that. So once again, the Skype for that is Magic Submitter Tutorials with no spaces. Can I still do a one-to-one for my website? Thanks, Daniel. Daniel, 100% you can do a one-to-one for your website. Yeah, you can do that. Head to my website. It's magicsubmittertutorials.com/buy-now, or just go to magicsubmittertutorials.com, click on the Buy Now tab, and there's a few different options there for one-on-one coaching if you would rather just be held by the hand and taken through the entire process. Yeah, do that. Let me just quickly check to see what else is in here real quick. Dragos. Yeah, for the time being, Dragos is asking, should I stop doing use the same 5 profiles over and over and over? To the same money site, yes. Consider slowing down on that. You can still use those 5 profiles if you want to, keep them active, but just new money sites that are related to that niche rather than the same money site over and over. Remember, if you've got multiple money sites that are in the same niche, you can keep using those profiles over and over because there's going to be a lot of different links on it. If you've only got one website, then create new profiles when you want to do new campaigns. Would be a smarter move moving forwards. Okay, so we're almost at the top of the hour. Final questions. I just want to make sure that I got absolutely everybody in. How many days does Google take to read my new backlinks from today? Great question. It takes Google approximately, and this is just an approximation, it takes Google approximately 3 months to crawl the entire web. Okay, so on that basis, you build links today, it can take Google up to 3 months to find those links. So don't pick up Magic Submitter, build links today and just expect that you're going to rank tomorrow. It doesn't quite work like that. Google might not have even found those links yet. There are a couple of things you can do to help speed up that process. Number one, make sure you're not submitting to loads of low quality sites that Google doesn't visit often. Number two, make sure that you're using more than one tier in your campaign. If you've got a 2-tier campaign, you're spreading your links much wider. There's more chance Google will find the second tier to find your first tier links. And number three, make sure that you've got pinging turned on under the general tab. And number four, you could consider using an indexing service to help with those indexing rates. Right, final questions. Yeah, lead the way. How many money site but different pages? How about same money site but different pages? Ultimately, there is no real one-size-fits-all business model to this, and I can give my best estimates based on what you're asking without really looking at your niches or knowing enough about your websites. My thought is, if it seems a little bit weird, don't do it, okay? Ask yourself this question. This is what I do when I put a campaign together. Like, exactly like this. And this might help you if you're creating your own campaign templates and things like that. Let me ask you guys this. If you was searching Google and you came across a blog that was talking about dog training and you were interested in dog training, would it be possible that you might bookmark that page to come back and view it at a later date? What's the chances of that happening? Put a number 1 if you think it's possible that that could happen in the real world. 1. Okay, great. So when I'm putting a campaign template together, it would make sense that my first tier was blogs and my second tier was bookmarks. That naturally would make sense that if Google found a bookmark pointing to a blog, yep, that kind of thing happens in the real world. Okay? Would it be possible if I found a blog about dog training and I liked it, would it be possible that I might tell people on a forum about it? I might belong to a forum about pets. Would it be possible that I could say, hey, everybody, I found this great blog post. You might find it interesting. Give me a 1 if you think that that could happen in the real world. Okay, I'm getting 1s again. Great. So it would make sense then that for a blog to have forum links pointing at it, bookmark links pointing at it, RSS feed type links pointing at it. Now let me ask you this. If I saw a tweet and I thought, that tweet's funny, what would be the chances of me writing a blog post about a tweet or bookmarking a tweet because I want to read that tweet again in the future? Do you think people would do that with something like a tweet? Would they bookmark it? Give me a 1 if you think yes, or a 0 if you think no. Okay, brilliant. So we're all on the same level here. So when you're building your Magic Submitter campaign, if you've got something like microblogs, which is kind of like tweets, or you've got something like StatusNet, it wouldn't make so much sense to have bookmarks pointing to that, okay? Because in the real world, somebody's not going to find a bookmark, something like a StatusNet and go, oh, okay, that's so funny. I want to save that for later. Would somebody write an entire blog about it? No. Would somebody... Is this making sense what I'm saying? If you think about it logically from a, would this happen in the real world perspective? Are you following where I'm coming from? Brilliant. Okay, yeah. No, Samir saying no. I'm really not sure how else to explain that, Samir. Okay. Magic Submitter, you can build your own campaign templates. You can tell Magic Submitter, here's my website. Oh, you have understood. Okay, brilliant. Fantastic. I was going to say, I really don't know how to explain it beyond that. But think about it logically when you're putting your campaigns together. Would somebody bookmark a blog? Yes. Would somebody create an RSS feed from posts on a blog? Yes. Would somebody tweet about a blog? Yeah, they would. So your blog type nodes could have hundreds and hundreds of links underneath them to help Google find them, definitely. Would somebody tweet a bookmark that they found? No, they wouldn't tweet a bookmark. They'd click the bookmark, find out where the bookmark pointed to, and then tweet that URL instead. So you wouldn't have StatusNet pointing at bookmarks. You wouldn't have weird things like that in your campaign. People wouldn't bookmark a forum post. So you wouldn't have bookmarks pointing at forums. It's kind of like, does this link profile look real, or does it look like it's been created by automation? And if it seems weird to you, don't do it. Okay, so we're pretty much, no, they won't bookmark a microblog. Exactly, people wouldn't do that. Okay, Daniel, send me a message on Skype regarding that. I'm not. You said you signed up with me. Send me a message on Skype for sure, and I'll check that with you. I'm sorry if I missed that. Okay, if I have a YouTube channel for games, this is going to be the last question of the evening. If I have a YouTube channel for games, how can I know how many backlinks for my videos competitors in Google? Okay, take the URL of the YouTube video, put it into a tool called ahrefs.com. And when you go into Ahrefs, there's a little drop-down button next to where you put the domain in, and you want to change that to say path. And if you do that and you paste the YouTube video URL in and then change the drop-down to path, it will tell you the exact number of links that specific YouTube video's got. That's how you can check that. Everybody, I really, really appreciate you all coming along tonight. I'll get this recording up. Hopefully it's going to go up without a glitch. Yeah, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. Thanks very much for attending them. I really appreciate your time. Once again, just check out Ranking Rabbit if you've got a spare 5 minutes. I'd love to connect with you inside there. But other than that, thank you. I look forward to speaking to you on the one in 4 weeks from today. You take care, everybody. Cheers for coming.